Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Greatest Book Never Published, podcast where we read the greatest book never published. I am Nim.
Oh, I'm Nate.
I'm Steve.
All right, and so, yeah, this podcast, we read a book that I wrote when I was 13, and it's a lot of fun. So check out the previous episodes if you want to be caught up on everything, because otherwise none of this is going to make sense. All right, so where did we last leave off? If you remember, it's probably been a while since we recorded.
Where did we last leave off? Let's see. They were interrogating the Blob's men, right?
We passed that. No, they were at Justin Lee's mansion.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said the blob.
Oh, whatever.
They were at Justin Lee's mansion, and there was they were trying to interrogate him, but then some robots showed up, and that's where we ended.
Oh, yeah.
And Nate is...
I do not remember that.
Nate was listening to the villain's plan. So, he snuck out. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where we are. Yeah, well, I think it was like a very last minute thing. Like, that was the very last chapter we read, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, Zach Thompson. I honestly forgot that happened too. I actually read a little bit before we recorded just to make sure. Chapter 33. Zach Thompson. Our guns do nothing to stop the robots as they begin to surround us. They are each carrying some kind of energy sword. They're obviously programmed to destroy and nothing else. So they got lightsabers.
Or it's like the things from Halo. The swords from Halo.
Yeah. They are obviously programmed to destroy and nothing else. I close my eyes for a few seconds to pray for God to help us. Then yell, attack! Do you have enough... Dude, are you sure you have enough time? Why would you take the time to close your eyes for a few seconds?
Why did he yell attack? Weren't they already attacking?
Well, he yelled attack to his friends.
They were already
Let's
shooting
attack
them.
the robots.
They
You know what? I don't know. You know what? There's some deeper meaning behind that. Some genius. But who knows? Everything suddenly begins to happen extremely fast. Steve zooms by, slamming them with his fists and shockwaves as Jameson rips them apart. One of the robots... See, it's hard to read this with my mic stand right here. One of these... Whoops.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, one of the robots runs up, slashing me with his energy sword as another jumps about 10 feet above my head, preparing to attack from behind. My arms turn solid and block the blade, as the other swings its blade at me from behind. I duck and it goes right over my head. The first one pulls the blade away from my arm and slashes towards my feet. The blade phases through me and hits the one behind me, slightly damaging it. Both my arms turn solid and I swing one at the first robot and the other at the second. I smash the one that was damaged, but the other one dodges my arm. Suddenly, from behind, I get hit by another one, shocking me and launching me out the window. I lay on the ground for a few seconds and stand, facing 4 of the robots surrounding me. All at once they strike me with their energy swords. I turn solid, and they don't even give me a scratch. I phase through one of them and come out from behind, slamming it in the back of the head with my solid arm. Its head shatters as it falls to the ground.
That's one solid arm.
Yeah.
Yep. Not the only thing solid on him. Oh. Alright, I'm going to keep going. I hear the sound of helicopter blades in the distance. I look and see that Lee is in a helicopter, which is about to take off. He always just escapes in helicopters, just like in the prologue.
Wow.
I realize that taking these robots out is not as important as catching Lee, so I turn and run towards the helicopter as fast as I can. The 3 robots that are left are chasing me. One of them jumps in front of me, causing me to duck underneath its legs, stand up, and keep going.
Well, it must be a tall robot.
Just under... Yeah, they're actually like 20 feet tall. Stand up and keep going. Okay. Once I get to the helicopter, it is already about 10 feet in the air. Once the momentum I have from running, using the momentum I have from running, I jump as high as I can and grab onto the bottom of the helicopter. Both my arms cling onto it as two of the robots follow me, one of them on each side of me, both hanging on with one arm. They each use their free arm to punch me, which doesn't work because I have turned solid. After they pull their arms away, the one on my right strikes again. I let go with my left arm, which is solid, and block the arm, shoving it out of the way. I quickly pull my arm back, with my fist still solid, and swing at the robot's face, smashing it to pieces. I turn my head to the other robot as it launches a punch at me. I turn into a gas. Oh, I forgot I could do that. So the punch doesn't affect me. I rise up to the door of the helicopter and turn back to normal, climbing in. Lee is sitting in his seat. "It's over, Lee," I say with my fist ready to fly. Wow. Stereotypical. line.
Heroic.
"It's over, Lee. There's no way out now."
It's over, Lee, but we don't even know what you're doing. Oh, wait,
Think-
he told them his plan, didn't he?
No, he didn't. No, they don't fully know the plan. They were interrogating him, but he wouldn't tell them. But Nate heard some little information about their plan. Yeah.
It's over, but they don't. He doesn't have any like reason to say it's over because he doesn't know that
Well,
he's doing anything wrong.
You know, he knows he has ties with Snake, so he knows he tied a snake
Yeah.
or something like that.
Not.
There's no way out now. Think again, Lee says as he stands up. I was prepared for something like this to happen. I realize that he is wearing a parachute. Well, yeah, he parachutes to the ground, and then where is he going to go?
Then Steve could just pick him up because he runs really fast.
He jumps out of the helicopter. I'm about to jump out after him when the robot climbs into the helicopter in my way. I turn my fists solid and punch at it. But my attack is dodged.
Why didn't he just jump through the robot out the helicopter? If he
I don't
can
know.
go
These
face
people
through
are not
things.
very smart. Let's be honest. The Thompsons are not very smart, clearly. Or the Richards. The Richards. The robot slams me into the wall. I use my adrenaline and shove the robot into the cockpit, not even using my powers. Whoa. It's tough, boy. Tough. The robot slams into the pilot, killing him. Damn, poor pilot. He's just doing his job and he's freaking killed by this.
Oh, what's going on back there?
17-year-old.
I will turn this helicopter around.
Just some 17-year-old slams a robot into him and crushes him. The robot slams into the pilot, killing him, and then into the controls of the helicopter. I turn my fists solid and start slamming the robot over and over again. The only thing that stops me is the sound of Jameson's voice in my earpiece. "I see where you are," he says. "Get off that helicopter. It's coming down." "Roger that," I say back to him.
Roger.
Roger. I stop punching the robot and jump out of the helicopter. I forgot to get a parachute, and I'm about 400 feet in the air. I should have thought about that. What do I do now? You can turn into a gas. Wait,
Or turn solid.
Did he forget about his powers? What?
He could just phase through the ground and go
Or
all the way
face-
to the center of the
like,
earth.
He could figure something out. What do I do now? Duh, I just turned solid. I might be able to handle the fall that way. Let's just hope this works. See, even he's like, duh, I'm an idiot.
Turn into gas right before you hit the ground and then turn back normal and then you'll just be there.
Well, I feel like I don't know, maybe, can he control, like, where he floats when he's a gas? Like, that's what I thought. Maybe he can't.
Well, it depends on what type of gas he is, too.
Well, I mean,
Because some gases won't float. They'll actually fall.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
Science.
I guess.
Steve Klein, the science guy.
It depends on how dense it is.
That's true. If he's like turns into what's that? Argon, then he's just falling right to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, alright, I turn solid and begin to fall a little faster. Now I'm falling so fast I can't even tell if I'm close to the ground or not. Then, I hit the ground. I black out for a few seconds, and when I regain my consciousness, I see Steve and Jameson standing over me. What happened, I ask. Did we get Lee? No, Jameson says, because we watched him fall in his parachute and did not go after him because we suck.
Maybe
They
he
saw the
can just-
helicopter flying, but they didn't see him.
Didn't see him.
Didn't see someone dive out the helicopter.
Yeah. But we did destroy all the robots and found out a couple things. What exactly did we find out? Steve says, Sib. Jameson answers, oh, I forgot about Sib. Super infection something. Super infection bacon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, imagine.
That's his plan.
They-
He's
they-
gonna
they
give
put the-
bacon to everyone.
No, it's going to
Yeah.
be mutated bacon because he gives it the infection. It's
Yeah.
super infection bacon, so it's like really good bacon. Cause
Yeah.
and it like turns really big too. Sounds like a good
That's
plan.
his master plan.
Sounds like bacon that infects you.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
bacon has the infection in it. And if
I
you
mean,
eat
what
it, you
what
get
else would the B
infected.
stand for? I don't know.
Balloon.
Balloon?
Baloney? I don't know.
Balloon.
Super infection balloon.
It's definitely not bomb, though.
No, well that would be stupid.
Yeah. That,
If only we knew what the B stands for. Well, at least we know that it has to do with the infection, I say. And the only place I can think of where they could get some is at the lab. Or what's left of the lab. Right, Jameson says. Our next mission will be at the lab.
ooh, back to the lab.
Wouldn't
Back
they have
to the
already?
lab again.
Wouldn't they have already gotten it if it was at the lab?
But yeah, well, I was gonna say it's been like at least a week since the explosion.
At
right?
least.
I think.
It's yeah.
I think they said that. I can't remember. All right, that was the end of the chapter. Now we're on to chapter 34. Nathan Thompson. I have just left the room where Crepe and Lee had their meeting, still unsure of where to find Abigail. So we know these chapters aren't happening at the same time because Lee was in this chapter and Nathan just saw Lee and wherever he is.
Yeah.
So clearly they're like not happening at the same time. Or I just didn't think about it. Who knows? I have just left the room where Crepe and Lee have their meeting, still unsure of where to find Abigail.
Crappy.
As I am walking down the stairs that are at the other end of the hallway, I suddenly hear a loud siren blaring. Then I hear a loud voice coming from a microphone saying, "Alert, alert, a prisoner has escaped. I repeat, a prisoner has escaped. He is a small 13-year-old boy with dark hair."
Wait, he was a prisoner?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
remember?
that's right.
He woke up in like a super fancy room. Locked in a super fancy room. If you see a small 13-year-old boy with dark hair, he is the prisoner and must be returned immediately. Great, now they know that I've escaped. I must get out of here, and fast. I begin to run down the steps now. Then I hear footsteps coming up towards me. What now? If only I had my backpack with me. I keep a slingshot in it. That would help a lot.
What is
Dude
David?
Dude comes in with a gun. He's like,
What is it, David?
I got a slingshot.
you might have you might have a gun, but I have a slingshot.
He brought a gun to a slingshot fight.
That was your mistake. Hey, wait a minute. I know where my backpack is. I saw it on the floor in Crepe's office. So that's where I need to go now.
Crippy.
I quickly turn around and run back up the stairs. I can still hear the footsteps coming. I get to the top and continue down the hallway as fast as I can. When I get to the end of the hall, I try to open the door, but it's locked. What now? Oh, wait.
Surprise.
I still have the bed spring in my pocket. But I better work fast. I pull the spring out of my pocket and begin working the lock. I look back for a second and see that the men have spotted me and are running down the hall. Come on, Nate. Don't look back. The second you took to look back was a second wasted. That 1 second could be the difference between getting caught and getting away. Don't look back. Just keep working the lock. I keep working the lock as the men are inches away. Just as it seems that there's no way. Shut up. Just as it seems there's no way I'll get away, the door opens. I quickly jump in, close the door, and lock it. That was a close one. All right now. Hurry up and find the backpack before they get the door open. I see my backpack on the floor next to the desk and rush over to it. I open it, push a few rolls of duct tape out of the way, and there is the slingshot. Just keep some duct tape and slingshot in his backpack.
You never know.
Pull it out, then load it with a small metal ball. Now I just wait till the men get the door open. Wait a minute, though. They'll probably get more men to help before they open the door. There's no way I'll be able to take them all. But there's nothing else I could do. Wait a minute. Maybe there is. I might be able to leave out the window. I rush over and look out the window. I am 4 stories up. Uh-oh. I look down on the ground and see 2 vans that are getting ready to go somewhere. There are a bunch of men climbing into the vans, including Justin Lee. Of course, they're going to the remains of my dad's lab to find some of the infection. Oh, yeah, I think he heard them say that.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I could ride in one of the vans and escape when we get there, so I can tell my brothers everything that happened. But how am I going to get down there? I look out the window and see a tall flagpole next to it. I look up
Took
and
that straight out of Alex Rider.
Straight out of Alex Rider. Didn't he do that?
Yeah, in the first book.
Yeah, that's probably where I got the idea from, because I was probably in the middle of reading those books at the time when I wrote this. The flag has the same snake symbol on it that was tattooed on that guy's arm. I'll use this to
Suspicious at all.
I'll use this to slide down. I hear the sound of a key in the lock of the door. I put my backpack on, then jump onto the windowsill. The door opens. I look at the men for a few seconds, smile, then jump out the window. I pray to God as I fall to what appears to be my inevitable death. I thought Zach was the only character who prayed to God.
No.
So far, he is.
Well.
I reach my arms out and my hand grabs onto the pole. I wrap my arms around it as I slide down to the bottom. I run over and jump into the back of one of the vans while making sure no one sees me.
Wow.
There's no way the guys who ran into the room did not see him climb into the van through the window.
Listen, some
Wait,
bad guys are
weren't
pretty
there
dumb.
a bunch of guys in the back of the van?
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe
How did he climb in the van without anybody knowing?
because he's really stealthy. I don't know.
Well, hey guys, I'm just hitching a ride real quick.
Don't mind me.
I know that loudspeaker just said, "Hey, a 13-year-old prisoner escaped," but nah, that's not.
I'm a different 13-year-old prisoner.
I'm one of Lee's guards. No, you're not. How do you know? 'Cause you have hair. The callback to episode 1. Alright. Chapter 35. Jameson Thompson. While Zach and Steve are in the van waiting on the other side of the street, I am standing in what's left of my father's lab. There are still some walls left up, but for the most part, it is completely unsalvageable. It is Saturday, a week after my father went missing. I'm holding a device that can sense if there are any signs of the infection. Something Dad gave me the night of the explosion. What? Oh, I'm holding the device that... I'm holding a device that can sense if there are any signs of the infection. Something Dad gave me the night of the explosion. Well, that was not explained before. I never mentioned that.
Why did he surprise
So far, there's nothing. Why did he give him that? It was like a present. He's like, so I'm showing you this infection thing. Here's the thing that can sense if there's any of the infection anywhere. It's like a Geiger counter for the infection.
Yep.
So far, there's nothing. But Snake will most likely not know that. So there is still a chance that some of their men might come here. Then I suddenly hear voices from the other side of the lab. I can't see who it is because there's a wall in between us. I sneak up next to the wall and peek around it. I see 2 men in hazmat suits. Why do we always get stuck with this kind of job? One of them says. Oh, don't complain, Frank. The second one says. Someone's got to do it. And just think, this may seem to be a really dull job, but in the end, it is one of the most important jobs. Yeah, I guess you're right, Derek. Their names are Derek and Frank. That's the next spinoff is going to be about Derek and Frank. Or it's going to be about those cops from the earlier episode.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the cops were Derek and Frank.
Oh, now they're like freaking, I don't know, working for Snake or whatever.
Maybe they were working for Snake then, too.
Oh, that's true. Because one of the cops was working for Snake because he blew up the place.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Derek and Frank would be a great spin-off series. Yeah, I guess you're right, Derek, Frank says. Now, let's just hurry up and find this infection stuff so we can get out of here. I have better stuff to... Hey, Derek says excitedly. I found some. It's still in its container. Hurry, how? The container didn't blow up? Jeez. This is a tough container. Hurry up. Take it somewhere safe before it explodes or something. Wait, Frank says. Wouldn't we want it to explode? I hear that this stuff can give people superpowers. Yeah, but it could also kill us, Derek says. I don't want to take that risk. Now hurry. Get it in a safe container. And Derek can imagine that's like an alternate universe where Derek and Frank get superpowers. That'd be epic. Could also kill us. Okay. Derek hands the container to Frank, who takes it to a van behind the building. I decide that I should stop them. Whatever this whole infection thing is about, it can't be good. I walk out from behind the wall where Derek stands, waiting for Frank. I take him by surprise, knocking him out in one hit. Good job, Jameson. Frank comes out of the van and says, All right, it's in the... He stops when he sees that Derek is unconscious and I am standing here. You're one of them, the Hooded 3. You're the strong one. I forgot about they're called the Hooded 3. He jumps into the van as quickly as possible and starts the engine. I run toward the van to stop him. I am stopped when 5 men come out of nowhere and stand in front of me. They all come running at me while shooting guns. I feel pain and blood when the bullets hit me, but a few seconds after each hit, the wound heals. I run to one of them and slam him to the ground, then do the same to the rest. By the time I'm done, the van has already escaped.
Uh-oh.
I decide to look around a little bit more for the infection. I find one tiny little sample of it. At least something good came out of this mission. End of chapter.
Bum, bum.
So now Jameson has a sample of the infection, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So he can develop, maybe he can develop an anti-infection.
Get into this last chapter.
No, there's... Wait, is it?
Yeah, we already read 3.
Oh yeah, you're right, we did. One more chapter. Man, my memory is like bad. Chapter 36, Stephen Richards. Zach Jameson and I are sitting around a small table in the base on Sunday afternoon. Zach has called a meeting, but neither Jameson nor I have any idea what it's about. You guys are probably wondering why I called you here, Zach says. Yeah, we are. I respond in a slightly rude tone of voice. It's Sunday. I have better things to be doing. Even though I know that on Sundays I usually have nothing to do. He doesn't need to know that, though. Steven is such a dick.
Yeah, it's kind of a douche.
Yeah, people named Steven, am I right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Zach says, we really need to start working as a team. It's been a week since we've started this thing, and we still can't work together very well. I thought we did just fine, Jameson says. There may be a few problems, but it's nothing we can't work out. No, Jameson, Zach says. We haven't been doing just fine. Remember when we went to Lee's mansion? We didn't work as a team at all. I mean, we did at first, but once those robots came in, we fell apart. We weren't prepared, which caused the mission to go bad. If we had worked as a team, Lee wouldn't have escaped. Or if you guys just frickin' paid attention to the guy falling from a parachute. I see what you're saying, Jameson says. But what do we do about it? Well, Zach starts off. For starters, we need one of us to be the leader. I think we should have a vote. Why have a vote? I ask, already knowing what the outcome would be. We already know that you would win, Zach. You're the best one to lead. Alright, Zach says. Do you agree, Jameson? I guess so, Jameson responds. I mean, Steve is right. You are the best one to lead. Okay, Zach says. It's decided then. I am officially leader of the Hooded Three. Still a dumb name. Well, I don't really care who's leader, I say. I'm gonna leave the Hooded Three once we find your dad and Nate anyway. So you're just gonna let Snake do what they've been planning? Zach responds. You're just gonna let it happen? You're just gonna sit back and watch? Whatever they're planning must be put to a stop. If you don't care, then go ahead. Leave now. If you're gonna leave, you might as well just get it over with. And while we're fighting for good, for justice, for freedom, you can just stand by and watch.
They're fighting for
Do
freedom,
nothing.
but they
I
don't
know.
even know what the bad
They
guys
don't know what the
plan
bad guys
is.
are even doing. It turns out that their plan is actually to do some
Like cure
like
cancer or
cure-
something like that.
like they determined that the infection had some cancer curing thing in it. Yeah. Do nothing? You were given this power for a reason. And I don't think that reason is so you can win gold medals in the Olympics. I think you were made for much greater than that. I believe that you being at the lab at the time of the explosion wasn't just an accident. God put you there at that time on purpose. He wanted you to have this power. He wanted you
With
to
great
use
power
it
comes great responsibility.
to help others
Exactly.
who need it. The big guy must stand up for the little guy, for if he doesn't, the little guys will no longer exist. There it is, again.
Pure poetry right there.
Wait, does it say that right there in that chapter?
Yeah,
What?
says it. Yeah, he says it again.
Oh.
Well said, brother, Jameson says, amazed that Zach could say something with such impact. Amazed that Zach. It's like, wow, Zach has intelligent thoughts?
But he wants him to be the leader?
So you think he would already think he has intelligence? Oh, he's too much of an idiot to think of something like that. But I want him to be the leader. I think the whole book deserves that. Honestly.
No, the book deserves this. Or no. This one, yeah.
That is true. But I am not a hero, I say, frustrated that Zach doesn't get what I'm trying to say. I'm just an orphan who's going to live an average life. I wasn't made for this. I can't be a hero. I don't have the will or the mind for it. I may have this power, but that's all I have. There's nothing special about me. I'm just another person whose life is meaningless. Wow.
Wow.
It will be if you keep telling yourself that, Zach says. Now, do you think that all heroes were just born that way? Because they weren't. They all thought that they were just some average guy, just another speck in the universe. But in the end, they still did what needed to be done, no matter the cost. Because they realized they were meant for so much more. They had the ability to change things for the better. Now, the only question is, are you willing to change things?
Absolutely not.
No, I say. I can't change things, and you were right. I should just leave now. You guys will now have to change your name to the Hooded too. I stand up and walk out the door
Nate.
without looking
That's
back.
true.
That's the end of the chapter. So, first, I mean, Zach is great at giving speeches. He's a great.
He's like,
Top notch. He should be a motivational speaker.
He should be a motivational speaker.
Apparently, he's not too good because he didn't convince Steve.
Well, that's because Steve is just Steve, and he's
yeah, but by the end of the book, he probably
people
convinces
named Steven just suck. Okay, that's what we've determined today.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So A lot of questions. We're left with a lot of questions now. So, what's gonna happen with Nate? He's hiding away in a van. What's gonna happen? I mean, Steve is leaving him. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen with that?
Big deal.
It is. It's a very big deal. All right. Anyways, so if you're excited to see what happens next, tune in next week when we continue with chapter 37 and read 4 more chapters. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens next. So anyways, if you want to listen to this, it's available on a few different platforms. You can listen to it on my YouTube channel, which is called NIMTV, or you can listen to it on Spotify. There should be links in the description and everything. And you can also check out Nathan's YouTube channel. It's called Nate the Great. So there's a link in the description to that as well. And Steven doesn't have anything to check out. I mean, So that's that. Anyways, thank you all for listening. I'm Nim.
Oh, I'm Nate.
I'm Steve.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. See you
Bye.
next week.